Schüsse im Mondlicht. Mal gucken, ob wir hier jemanden retten können, weil der letzte Fall ist ja jetzt nicht so gut geendet.
Where are you going, Holmes? Have you been invited somewhere?
We have been invited, Watson.
We have. Where to?
To the Baker Street Irregulars' annual dinner. They sent us an invitation. It is on the table.
A dinner? How could those street urchins afford anything like that? I can't understand your interest in them, Holmes. They're dirty. They wouldn't hesitate to steal your wallet.
Watson, you should be excited. It is a secret dinner. Its location changes every year. Read the menu. Sounds mouth-watering.
All right. We, the secret police of Baker Street, invite you, Sherlock Holmes, and Dr. Watson to our annual dinner. Menu, entree, frozen rat head salad. Is this a joke?
Not at all. Pray continue.
Main course, sow's udder in Danny Nutcracker's way. Sounds disgusting, Holmes. Hedgehog goulash. Street turnips in homemade juice. And it goes on.
I can hear them on the stairs now.
Well, we can't go there. We can't eat that.
Watson, you'll hurt the feelings of those poor children. We have to go.
Oh, Mr. Holmes.
It is fine, Mrs. Hudson.
Mr. Holmes!
Wiggins, Dr. Watson is getting ready. He will be delighted to join us. You don't look well, my young man. Is there something wrong? Don't tell me the dinner is cancelled.
Mr. Holmes, it's my brother Leighton. He's in a prison cell. They say he's killed 2 men. You have to help us, Mr. Holmes, because I know he didn't do it.
Where is he now?
From what I've heard, they took him to the yard, and they gave him a good beating already. You know what they're like. They'll hang him. They won't look any further.
Holmes, we have to help him.
Well, and forget about the dinner? Wiggins, I'll take the case.
You're fantastic, Mr. Holmes. I'll be waiting for you at the crime scene. You'll be there, right? It's on Half Moon Street in Whitechapel.
Very well.
Okay, ja gut, dann fällt das tolle Dinner wohl aus. Ja, dann gehen wir erstmal zum Tatort, würde ich sagen. Macht ja eher Sinn. Und dann gehen wir nach Sherlock Holmes. Nach Sherlock Holmes, genau. Nach Scotland Yard, wollte ich sagen. Mann. So. Weiß ja selbstredend, dass wir den Jungs helfen. So. Ach, das ist aber eine schöne Ecke hier. Wo müssen wir denn hin? Ich mag dunkle Gassen. Gut, dass wir kein Horrorspiel spielen.
Please, gentlemen, leave the scene now. Oh, Mr. Holmes, is that you?
Ja,
good evening, Constable...
Constable Marrow. I was here with Inspector Aberline during the Ripper case, Mr. Holmes, back in '88. But then this is nothing like that case. With this one, we've got the murderer, the weapon, and the statements, which speak for themselves.
Of course, Marrow. But you know that appearances can sometimes be deceiving.
Ja, gut, dass wir jetzt da sind. Fragen wir mal nach dem Opfer.
Who were the victims?
The 2 men here, both shot. The stabbed fellow was Brian Vercotti, a well-known ruffian. The other, Kenneth Butler, a jeweller by trade.
Aha. Und der Junge soll die beiden erschossen haben? Na, ich weiß ja nicht. Was ist denn hier mit dem Zeugen und die Zeugen?
You
Wer hat's
spoke
gesehen?
of statements. You have witnesses?
Well, I was there, so I gave my own statement. And then there were 2 other witnesses who said they saw the killer Chapman. Mr. Turner, a gentleman who lives in that flat over there. And Polly Powell, a flower seller, who was over at the far side of the street.
Okay.
So, Constable Marrow, I should be delighted to hear your testimony.
I was standing at the north side of Half Moon Street. That was the side that you came from.
But you would have been unable to observe this part of the street. where we are standing now?
That is correct. But I saw the two victims slowly enter Half Moon Street, and then shortly after, the fireworks started. A few minutes after that, the fellow Chapman rushed towards me and ran into Half Moon Street.
Please continue.
I didn't pay attention, but suddenly I heard a woman's cries and police whistles on the other side of Half Moon Street. I rushed over there and I saw the two dead bodies on the ground. When I reached Whitechapel Street, I saw Leighton Chapman. He'd been caught by two police constables.
Nun, das beweist meiner Meinung nach gar nichts. Der hat Schüsse gehört, hat den Jungen rauskommen sehen, aber hat selber gar nichts gesehen. Und wir wissen ja auch, die Jungs sind eigentlich überall. Ja, wir machen erstmal Schüsse.
Did you hear the shots?
I didn't hear any shots.
Was
The
das auch
fireworks
nicht.
were all over the sky. They were so loud I couldn't hear anything else.
Der hat weder Schüsse gehört, noch gesehen, wie der Junge auf die geschossen hat. Also wirklich. Ja, dann fragen wir mal über das Feuerwerk.
What were the fireworks in honor of, Constable?
Well, today's Queen Victoria's birthday, Mr. Holmes.
Ach ja, wie könnte ich das vergessen?
Yes, I appear to have lost track of the days. It is May now, of course.
Klar, wusste ich. Ja, dann mal mit Details zu der Straße.
Constable Marrow, what else caught your attention while you were running through Half Moon Street?
I saw nothing but rats, and I took the time to light every corner with my lamp.
Und Mr. Turners Fenster?
Did you happen to look up at Mr. Turner's window when you were on Half Moon Street at that time?
Yes, I saw that the window was open, but no one was there. It was dark in the room.
Constable, your statements have been of great value to me.
Ja, von großer Bedeutung. So, da war alles dunkel. Gut, dann untersuchen wir erstmal die Leichen. So, was haben wir denn hier? Die Hand untersuchen.
He tried to stop the bleeding with his hand. Death was not instant.
Naja, aber prinzipiell hat das ja nicht viel gebracht, wie man sieht.
The bullet penetrated his stomach, a dreadful wound.
Eine fürchterliche Wunde.
Brian Vercotti suffered greatly. What a terrible way to die.
Da hätte man nicht drauf gedrückt, wäre sofort verendet. So, haben wir hier noch irgendwas?
A tattoo from Westgate Prison. Vercotti must have done some time there.
Ja, naja. Nur weil er da drin gesessen hat, ist ja wieder draußen, ne? So, und der Butler, dieser Juwelier, der hat eine
The
Kopfwunde.
bullet struck his head. This man didn't stand a chance.
Okay. Hier liegt ein Zettel. Linke Tasche. Ein Schlüssel.
This is an ordinary key. I wonder what kind of door it opens.
Einfach mal mitnehmen. Sherlock ist schon eine Marke. So, wir können hier unsere Fähigkeiten anwenden. Versteckter Gegenstand. Ganz ehrlich, das habe ich gesehen.
A piece of wood that has stuck between the cobblestones. Let us take a closer look.
Ja.
This shard of wood is quite new.
Aha. Ein neues Holzstück. Gut. So, mit dem haben wir gequatscht. Dann quatschen wir mal mit dem Mr. Turner, oder wie der hieß? Ja.
Good evening, Mr. Turner.
I heard Constable Marrow reply to you as Mr. Holmes. Are you that detective gentleman? I've heard of you. And well, I know things. things about this evening.
Excellent. Might we hear your story?
Ja, dann gucken wir uns dich erstmal an. Komische Ohrläppchen. Sehr verdächtig. Ein Orden. Balak. Was? Kriegsveteran. Okay. Irgendein Krieg. Moment, hier ist was. Fehlende Knöpfe. Armes Leben. Schwaches Bein. Hinkt. Aha. Wahrscheinlich im Krieg passiert. So, dann erzähl uns doch mal, was du gesehen hast.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
I was already in bed when the fireworks started. A few moments after, I clearly heard 2 gunshots from outside.
Please continue.
I quickly got up and I grabbed the lamp from my nightstand and I rushed towards the window. I looked down and I saw 2 bodies. And there was a man with a gun who was standing nearby.
Where exactly?
Well, near this body.
Did he notice you?
I don't think so. He rushed towards Whitechapel Street without looking around.
Okay, also er hat Schüsse gehört. Trotz Feuerwerk. Und er hat einen Mann gesehen, der in eine andere Straße lief. Aber keinen Jungen. Sonst noch jemand?
Mr. Turner, did you see anyone else in the street?
No, I saw no one but that man, the murderer, the fellow they caught.
Ja, er spricht aber von einem Mann und nicht von einem Jungen. Und der lief in die andere, also, ne, andere Straße. Wie kommen die? Naja, wir ermitteln ja noch. So, waren 2 einzelne Schüsse?
Were the 2 shots you heard consecutive?
Yes, there was a very short pause between them, and they sounded different somehow. It seemed to me that the second shot was louder than the first.
That is an interesting comment.
Okay, der zweite war lauter als der andere. Was passierte dann nach der Flucht?
Mr. Turner, what were your actions after you stepped up to the window?
I was afraid that the man with a gun might return, so I stayed close to the window till I saw the policeman coming in the Half Moon from Whitechapel. Then I walked out to tell them everything I saw.
You have helped us a great deal, Mr. Turner.
Okay. Wie ging's? Ja, mit dir rede ich auch gleich. Ich muss mal einmal mit der Dame da vorne noch reden. Die war hier um die Ecke.
Mrs. Powell?
What do you want?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the crime that took place this evening.
Well, I've already gave my testimony, but very well.
Ja, dann mach mal die Aussage. Leider können wir die nicht angucken.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
Yes. I was selling my flowers as usual, and then the fireworks began, in honour of Queen Victoria. I enjoyed those. But then, all of a sudden, a young lad ran out of Half Moon Street and stopped just by me. He had a gun in his hand. He was like a ghost, and all covered in blood. It was dark, but I could see him, because of the flashes from the fireworks.
And then?
I screamed as loud as I could. I knew that a policeman should be on duty in the vicinity. He had no time to escape. 2 constables got him. Then another constable came out from the very same street, and I heard him talking of a horrible murder.
Okay, dann fragen wir mal nach den Schüssen.
Mrs. Powell, did you hear the gunshots?
I'm not sure. You know, what with the fireworks?
Haben Sie denn sonst noch jemanden gesehen?
Did you see anyone else leaving Half Moon Street, prior to or at the time of the crime?
No, sir, I did not. Even with all the fireworks, I was very attentive, as I'm always on the lookout for customers.
My thanks to you, Mrs. Powell.
Okay. So, jetzt reden wir noch mal einmal mit dem Bruder.
Mr. Holmes, did you see my brother at Scotland Yard? Is he all right?
Weiß ich noch nicht. So, wir gucken mal eben kurz. Dunkles Fenster. Widersprüchliche Aussagen. Mr. Turner hat ausgesagt, dass er an seinem Fenster gestanden hat, bis die Polizei eintraf. Das widerspricht jedoch Constable Marrows Aussage, der niemanden am Fenster gesehen hat. Aha. So, unterschiedliche Schüsse und übereinstimmende Aussagen? Nein. 2 Opfer. Nein. Okay. Mehr haben wir noch nicht. Aber es sind auf jeden Fall, die Aussagen sind alle widersprüchlich. Kann ich noch mal mit dir reden?
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
I'm always wondering what's on your mind, Holmes.
So, hier geht's auch nicht weiter. Doch, hier geht's noch weiter. Ach, hier sind wir reingekommen. Okay. Hallo. Achso, hier darf ich gar nicht weiter. Ja gut, dann gehen wir mal direkt nach Scotland Yard. Und reden doch mal mit dem Bruder. Was der erstmal die ganzen Zeugen und, Aussagen aufnehmen.
Mr. Holmes, whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
Ja, dann gucken wir uns doch mal die Sachen an. Und dann reden wir mit dem. Ist das die Asservatenkammer? Nee, die ist hier vorne. Obwohl, hier sind nur seine persönlichen Gegenstände. So, dann gucken wir mal,
So
was
this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon. It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder.
Okay. Da müsste ja dann, kann man den aufmachen? Möchte mal einmal aufmachen. Weil hier sehe ich nur ein. Öffnen. Okay, 2 Patronen fehlen.
2 out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots.
Wir haben ja auch gehört, die hören sich unterschiedlich an.
A cheap watch, bought with his own money, no doubt. These cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting.
Okay. Also wir haben gesehen, 2 Patronen wurden abgefeuert. Hallo. Na, Junge?
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
Ach, das ist gar kein Junge.
Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
Dann ist ja gut. Aber erstmal möchte ich dich angucken. Du bist aber ein großer Bruder, ne? Ich dachte echt, es wäre jetzt ein Junge. Ja, dass er auf der Straße aufgewachsen ist, hätten wir uns denken können. Büroangestellter. Was? Oh. Der ist aus dem gleichen Gefängnis wie der andere Kollege da, der umgekommen ist. Interessant. Ja, wir hören uns aber erstmal die Geschichte an.
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw two men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head. He was holding a gun in his hand, though. I took it, and then I followed the third man.
Was für ein dummer Gedanke. Aber erzähl mal weiter.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man.
Ja, eine ziemlich interessante Geschichte. Aber den dritten Mann hat der ja auch vom Fenster gesehen oder hat der den gesehen? Wir fragen mal nach dem dritten Mann.
Leighton, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps it's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled. Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know. I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted revenge.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.